Welcome to this introduction of Remotion Media Parser, a new multimedia library for the web that was written from the ground up. The easiest way to get started with Remotion Media Parser is to use it whenever you need to get metadata from a video file. For example, the duration and dimensions of a video. But it doesn't stop there. You can also get the frame rate, keyframes, bit rates, whether it is an HDR video, and much more. You can get more information from more formats than you could with your browser. But also, it isn't tied to the browser. It also works in Node.js and in Bun. Media Parser is designed to only read the least amount of data needed to satisfy your query. And it doesn't require a whole buffer to be present. Whenever possible, data is streamed, keeping the parse fast and efficient, even for large files. You can also extract audio and video samples from your media files. Samples are small chunks of data that define what you see and what you hear in a video. But they are encoded using codecs like H.264. Fortunately, we can decode these samples in the browser using the Web Codecs API and turn the samples into images and waveforms. Remotion Media Parser was designed with Web Codecs in mind, and so it returns the samples in the exact format that the video decoder and audio decoder APIs expect. It therefore massively reduces the barrier of entry for you to use web codecs. With Remotion Media Parser, we built the first client-side web codecs-based MP4 to WebM converter. The result? By taking advantage of the hardware acceleration of web codecs, the conversion becomes 3 to 15 times faster than with a WebAssembly-based solution. Besides video conversion, we have many exciting ideas of how we can build better video capabilities for the web, like faster thumbnail extraction, video compression, and even building a replacement for the HTML5 video tag. All of these crazy ideas need a solid foundation in form of a modern multimedia library. Remotion Media Parser was designed to take advantage of the asynchronous nature of JavaScript. At any point in time, you can pause, resume, abort the parse, or seek to a different timestamp in the video. You can define callbacks that are being executed whenever new metadata or samples are being retrieved. If these callbacks are asynchronous, they are being awaited by the parser for predictable and consistent control flow. In order to not block the UI thread, it makes sense to execute the parse on a web worker. Remotion Media Parser provides a way to do exactly that, with the same API and the same behavior, but you do not have to take care of the client-server communication loop that comes into play when using a web worker. If you are downloading user-provided videos onto your server, Remotion Media Parser has an API to download the file and parse it at the same time, parallelizing the two steps. You can hook into the parsing and reject files that do not satisfy your criteria, for example, if they are too long or have the wrong format. Remotion Media Parser gives useful errors if you are passing in unsupported media. For example, from this error, we can tell that an image was passed to the media parser, and we can even get the image format and the dimensions of the image. This is very useful if you are building an application where arbitrary files can be dropped, for example, onto a canvas. And Remotion Media Parser allows you to determine the type of media, and if it happens to be a video or audio, parse it in one go. In summary, Remotion Media Parser is a modern new multimedia library for JavaScript. It runs on the web, in Node.js, and Bun. It embraces web standards and the async nature of JavaScript, requires minimal data to be fetched, and does not block the UI thread. It supports the 9 most common container formats and unifies them under one simple-to-use API. Media Parser has no dependencies. By taking care of all the necessary pre-processing, Media Parser makes it so much easier to harness the power of web codecs. Today, we are releasing the first stable version of Remotion Media Parser. It is released under the same license as Remotion. This means that it is completely free to use for teams of up to 3 people, but commercial licensing is required for bigger teams. We also want to thank our partners Tela for their generous technical and financial support in getting us to this point, and for trusting us and being one of the first to adopt Remotion Media Parser in their production. This is just the beginning. Now that the web codecs gateways have been opened, we can start taking advantage of this powerful API. And Remotion Media Parser comes just in time, because only now in 2025, later this year, all major web browsers will ship full web codecs API support enabled by default. So now is the perfect time to try out Remotion Media Parser by running this command. Let us know what you think. We know that it will not be perfect from the beginning, but we would love to hear your feedback and what your ideas are on what to build with it.